Hey, y'all. I'm Tashina, and this is Leadership Beyond the Title podcast. Let's be real. Leadership isn't a title, it's how you show up, build trust, and make things happen. This podcast is for women of color who are done waiting for permission to lead. Every week, we talk about how to lead beyond politics, position, and perfection with relationships that work, systems that support you, and a leadership style that actually feels like you. Because leadership isn't what's on your business card, it's what people experience when you walk in the room. So if you're ready to lead without being held back by fear, titles, or anyone else's limits, you are in the right place. So let's dive in. All right, welcome back to Leadership Beyond the Title podcast. I am your host, Tashina, and today is the final episode of our 5-day series. And we're ending with something real, raw, and honestly quite overdue. And it is why leading and moving alone is slowly killing your career, and why support will be your accelerator. It will be all gas, no brakes when you have some support. Okay. So many of you are carrying some big goals, some things that you're thinking about for next year. You have big responsibilities, and there's big expectations from others and from yourself, but you're doing it without any help. And so today we're going to talk about why that's no longer sustainable and what it actually looks like to lead with having some support behind you. Okay? Because we all need support. So let's get into it. Now, there is a loneliness epidemic in leadership right now. And it's it's literally slowing your career down. Okay. It's not because you aren't talented, it's not because you aren't capable, but because navigating leadership alone adds years to your timeline. When you get into leadership, it really feels like, oh shoot, I have to do this alone. And with all the people just having a lot to do and nobody really having time for anybody other than themselves, it feels lonely out here. I know this deeply because I did it for years. For years, I tried to figure out everything by myself. I didn't have a blueprint. I had no mentor. I had no one teaching me the office politics. I had no one really preparing me for bias or power dynamics or even how to lead when you're the only one who looks like you. So what I was doing, I was Googling everything. I was trying to find the best books. I was just trying to do whatever, like, what can I do to figure this out? Because I was trying to decode people's behavior. Like, okay, what does this mean? And what would they do? And, trying to guess how to move in the room, that I've never been in before, how to operate, or trying to make decisions by myself with nobody really guiding me. And it wasn't that I wasn't capable, that I didn't know, like I couldn't do it, but it was just that I was alone and I was trying to figure it out by myself, and I didn't have the wisdom from somebody else to actually guide me and move me. But everything changed when I finally invested in coaching and a community. Not because someone handed me opportunities. I want to be clear, because people weren't just handing me opportunities, but suddenly I had the clarity, the support, and a mirror to what I was doing to help me. I had someone who could see what I couldn't. So they were noticing my blind spots and they were able to point it out for me. I had guidance. I had language to what was happening. And then I was able to create a strategy that really supported me and helped me and moved me forward. And I realized you could get there alone for sure. So some of y'all like, I could do it by myself. It's all good. But I want you to know also, it's going to take a lot longer. Okay. Here's what's happening in the workplace right now that you should know. Leaders are more isolated than they were post pandemic, because we have hybrid work that separated people. We have roles that have been expanded. We have teams that are scattered. They're not necessarily in one building. And then we have leaders who don't have the same built-in support like they used to. So before, there was a lot more courses and classes and things to happen. And, you can go to your learning and development or training and development team and they'll, cook up something for you and your team. That's just not happening as it used to be. Our T&D and our learning and development teams are more being tasked to focus on like things that help the customer or the external client. And those are the type of things that are happening. And so we just don't have those resources anymore. What I'm also seeing is that job search timelines are longer and more competitive. So there's tons of people that are flooding the zone, literally flooding the zone to apply for a job. And so it's a lot more competition, and when corporate slows movement, you need support to navigate the hiring cycles and the internal politics that are happening. Because if you don't know, and it could be very depressing, it could be very isolating and very lonely when you can't get in there because of the competition and how slow a certain organization is going. And so getting that support is really going to be pertinent to your career. Also, people with coaching recover from layoffs 2 to 3 times faster. The first time when I got laid off, I was like, "Oh my god, what Imma do?" Right? I also was pregnant, so hormones was on 10 or 100, however you wanna call it, and yes, it was a lot. But the second time I had a coaching community, I was ready. I was like, "Oh yeah, I had maybe 2 or 3 one-on-one, like a business coach. I had like more of a leadership, a personal development coach. I also had a health coach." So I was like in there, right? I had a lot more support. And so that recovery process helped me a lot more, especially with my beliefs, self-limiting beliefs, things like that. And this was important because coaches, they have strategy, they have the stories to share with you how to do it. They have some clarity and it gives you a lot of emotional support during your own transitions. And then community-based learning is outperforming traditional training. So before you would go to school, school and different training courses and things like that. But when people come together in community, you learn a lot faster because you get the lived experiences of people, you get real-time feedback and long-term support, and people who understand the cultural and political landscape that you are navigating. And so it doesn't feel like you just have a coach, but you have a community around you of people who are literally doing this together and have different, paths they've taken and different areas that they are in their lives right now that that you can glean support and wisdom from as well. Nobody, you know, as an introvert, as someone who cherishes my time alone, what I've learned is nobody is meant to lead alone. And yet so many of us are trying to do everything by ourselves, and we shouldn't. So let's talk about what actually accelerates your leadership in this environment. And there are going to be three things that matter. I always like to keep to three. And this can shift your entire trajectory when you stop doing everything alone. Okay. So here they are. The first thing is blind spots slow you down, especially in political environments. So there are going to be things that you're not going to be able to see by yourself because we have our own traumas, our triggers, and things that we're dealing with. You need somebody to help you with your blind spots. And your blind spots may be things that have to do with power and the dynamics around power, or what your executive expects from you, how you should show up, how you should talk. Do you get right down to the nitty gritty, or do you go into depth? Like, what does your executive expect of you? Also, signals from leadership. So there'll be things that will happen that will be like cues to, oh, this is probably where leadership is headed and where they're going. And that will help you. There's also blind spots in how you communicate. So what is your patterns in communication that you should be keeping an eye on, or even opportunities that you're missing? That you also may not know that there are ways that you're being undervalued and you aren't clear, and it's just a blind spot for you. And so being able to understand, like, where am I being undervalued, where people are not recognizing what I'm doing, right? And then, your coach will give you strategies to become more visible in that way. And then ways you're getting in your own way. We get in our own ways all the time. And sometimes it's just like the way we speak. One of the ways that I noticed that I've been getting in my own way lately is always saying I'm broke. When I'm talking about money, I'm broke. Somebody had to tell me, like, quit saying that. You are not broke. Quit saying that. And, that was just like a turning point for me. Like, oh, yeah, being grateful for what I do have. I may not have everything I want, but I'm not broke. I'm a lot further and I have a lot more than other people. Okay. In complex environments, blind spots aren't harmless. They can literally be expensive to your career. They can literally be in the way of you making forward progress. And so having support will expose what you can't see and it will save you years down the road of trial and error and just going through all these things. Okay. So that is the first point. Blind spots will slow you down. The second thing is community will help you get confident. It creates the confidence that you need. So I had somebody who asked me, like, how do I get confident? Surround yourself with community because you grow when you're not the only one struggling. Now, I'm not saying, misery loves company and we should all be together. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, if you want to grow and there's an intentional, like, we're getting out of this misery, you move faster because you think you're the only one that's dealing with the lack of visibility or the unclear expectations or toxicity in your team or your organization or bias, overwhelm, burnout, unclear ways to be promoted. You're not the only person dealing with those things. And so when you get the opportunity to sit in a room with people that are going through the same challenges, it's going to shift something inside of you for sure. It's going to move you forward. And so you can stop personalizing everything. You can stop isolating yourself. You can stop thinking that you're behind because you're not. Community is going to give you the validation and the strategy that is important for you to move forward. And then coaching is the accelerator. Coaching will move you faster because once you have guidance, it shortens the path because now you're not going through all the mistakes, all the things that other people have gone through. They're like, "Oh, this is how you skip over this. Oh, okay. If you say this, you can get past all the other fluff that may happen." Because in a world where everyone is overwhelmed, where leaders are stressed in, where workplaces feel very unstable, coaching will give you the fastest path to get clear and to tell you what to do or give you the direction because it's going to give you better decisions and better strategies and better communication and you're going to be able to create the better boundaries and get good with visibility and eventually be open to the opportunities that you want. You don't you don't move forward by hustling harder and trying to do more. You actually move faster when you get the guidance sooner that you need to give. Now, let me give you the contrast to that, okay? And I want to give you the contrast of like what DIY leadership looks like versus what strategic leadership or support looks like, okay? So, if you're DIY leading, you're going to be overthinking. You're going to be repeating the same patterns. Now, this is going to this will slow you down. I know this because I will tell you right now, I can be an overthinker. But once I ask a question to one of my coaches, it's like, oh, duh. Of course I could have did that. Of course, this is the next thing to do. Right. And I will stop. It just moves things fast. I get the clarity. Right. DIY looks like you're always doing trial and error. Now, there's nothing wrong with experimentation, but you shouldn't experiment and figure out that something is wrong and it doesn't work. And then you do the exact same thing again. And it's like, okay, now that's insanity because you keep doing the same thing, hoping for different results. No, ma'am. That is not what you should do. DIY leadership, if you feel this, if you're doing this, you're going to feel stuck and you're going to feel by yourself. That's because you're trying to do it by yourself. That's DIY. Like, let me figure out how I can do it myself, right? You don't get a badge of honor for trying to do it alone. And quite honestly, none of us are successful. Success is never done alone. We always have somebody who's helping us behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, by the scenes, like whatever it is. Somebody's always helping us. Now, strategic leadership, strategic support looks like you're making faster decisions. You have opened up your visibility. You have clean, crisp communication. You're being top of mind. People are thinking about you, or you have a clear leadership identity, or you're actually making movement in your career. DIY leadership will keep you busy. It will keep you busy. You will be like, "Oh my god, I'm so tired, I'm burned out, I'm exhausted, I'm doing all the things and nothing's moving." Da, 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 da." That's DIY leadership. But strategic support, strategic leadership, that's moving you forward. You are making some bold moves, some good moves, you're moving forward. Okay? Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that sticks in your brain and you're thinking and you're like, "Oh yeah. Okay, I need this." If this is exactly what you need, this is what I create in Six Figure Leader. Six Figure Leader is the leadership community that I wish existed when I started coaching, when I needed support, when I needed some leadership systems and tools to grow my visibility, just to have everything under one roof. Okay. This would have been so helpful for me because I wouldn't have to take this class and this class and this class and this class. It would have been all under one roof. And here's the best part. We open in full on December 1st. And so you got a couple of days. If you join before December 1st and pay in full, you'll get 2 one-on-one coaching sessions with me. You'll get a personalized time to map out your leadership identity, your visibility plan, and your 2026 strategy. So if you are tired of being by yourself and doing this alone, if you're tired of trying to figure it out without support, and if you're ready for the next level of your leadership, tap the link in the show notes. Join us early. I hope to see you inside. And if you know someone who can benefit from this episode, please pass it along. Please help me allow me to help more people. Okay? That's important to me. Whether or not they join Six Figure Leader, I want to be able to help more people to really step into the leadership that they want to and be the leader who they want to be. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.